I own hundreds of companies, done bodybuilding competitions, invest deeply into my family. And let me tell you something, having it all is real. We live in a world that says that you can't have it all. We live in a world that says you're too busy. Balance is a figment of your imagination. You can't have the money, you can't have the body, and you can't have the happiness in your relationship. And I'm here to tell you, they're all wrong. And today I'm gonna share with you 5 little known secrets that will jazz and jack up your life to start producing the level of results that you've been waiting for.
One shot, now the future is yours. Go! I'm turning dreams into reality. Yeah, it's one shot, now the future is yours. Go!
You might be thinking there's gotta be something a little wrong with this dude if he names his book Have It All, as in literally a guy that thinks that you can have everything. But I think we live in a world today where people set their standards so incredibly low. Like, the truth is, your happiness in life and how you feel about your life overall, I think comes down to 3 things. And most people are not concurrently working on these 3 things. You've got to be improving your finances, but you also got to be improving your health, and yet you've got to be investing in that relationship. And if you don't do that, and you win in one area and you lose in the other, you're not going to be a happy person. We are literally living through an emotional pandemic. Because today, we've got depression on the rise, suicide on the rise. We've got people less happy than they've ever been before. And you know what? It's pretty obvious why. Today, I'm going to share with you 5 things that you can do to combat that so you can pull it together and start living this amazing, great life. I'm not just here on this channel to teach finances. Who cares about that if you're sick and nearly dead? Who cares if you don't have your health? Who cares if you're going to lose half of everything in the divorce? Because no one told you that you gotta be working on all 3 of these things. Let me share with you 5 tips today to take your life to a whole new level. So I'm sitting down with this young man. In my church group, I was his leader when he was a teenager. Now years later, he's in his early 30s and he's sitting down with me because he's miserable. He's unhappy. Life is not going the way he wants. He feels empty. And he encapsulated what he said, the only thing I feel like I do pretty well is mediocrity. And I'm like, oh, sucker punch, I just wanna die. And so to him, my first tip was this, brother, you have got to master your language. Your language produces emotions. So if you think negative thoughts and you say negative words, you will not reach your potential success. You'll be too busy feeling negative thoughts, feelings, and emotions. Being in a good state begins with a positive emotion. And I'm like, people are gonna discount this. They're like, oh, come on, Kris, this is so basic. Listen. Do you understand how simple it is? How can I show you how to build a successful business or invest successfully in real estate or follow down my path financially of doing some of these things if you're too busy with the negative self-talk, beating yourself up, judging other people, and thinking crappy thoughts? If you think negative things, they will lead to feeling negative. And I'm gonna tell you that feeling negative, in fact, a single negative thought, is like the enemy of everything you want in life. Most of us throughout the day, we've just developed a contentment with, well, sometimes I feel positive and sometimes I feel negative, and I do certainly some of both, and that's a problem. You have to pick sides.
You pick your side now because this is over.
And it's going to be expressed in your language with the words that you think, because what you think leads to how you feel. And if you don't feel good, you ain't gonna do anything good. Just 1 second. Wait, just one more. Oh, wait. Is this the way some people do life? Is this the way you do life? Did you know post-pandemic that the average American has been trained now to spend 13.2 hours a day on their phone? In fact, check this one out. Here I want to talk about mastering the game of focus, because right now there's like almost none of it. We all have the same 24 hours in a day. Some people are doing crazy good things with it, but a lot of us, we're going nowhere super fast. Branded Research Inc. conducted a survey and found that 75% of people admitted that digital notifications lead to a drastic decrease of focus. Every week, individuals waste nearly an entire 8-hour workday just checking their notifications. Like, this thing is a miracle. It allows me to literally talk through a satellite. People all over the world do some of the craziest things. Efficiency is freaking through the roof. But for some of us, this is like the king, queen of distraction. It's literally what keeps us from focusing or actually focusing and doing. We're so easily entertained, and we're scrolling through the social from a guy who's making you social media content today that is designed to say, get focused.
John is a man of focus, commitment, and sheer will.
Listen, Mondays, I make videos. Tuesday, Thursday, I work from home. Wednesday's my wife's day. Friday's my kid's day. Saturday's my day. Sunday's God's day. What you're smelling there is focus. In 2 weeks, I'm going to go to the Ukraine for humanitarian project with my foundation. Next week, I'm going to be emceeing in San Diego at Traffic and Conversions. When I look at some of the world travel I've got coming up with my family, with some of my individual children, like I live a crazy busy life. And I'm telling you, my net worth continues to climb. I'm bodybuilding again for this April show coming up and doing it with a dozen friends of mine. I've got my entire health channels that are leading out and getting millions of views every week. I got all my financial stuff going on. I got my relationship stuff going on. And yet I also still have time to spend hours a day with my wife. I don't work hard. I do work smart, and that requires a tremendous amount of focus. So evaluate, what are the things that you're doing in your life that are robbing you of focus? What are the things that aren't building? What are the things that are just spending way too much time tuning out, doormatting, relaxing, instead of actually being about something that matters, building a memory for life, doing something incredible with your life? A rich person has a million wishes, but a sick person only has one, and that's to be healthy. Check this out. Number 3, you've got to master your physiology. Like, you've been given this body, this temple. What are you doing with it? And what are you doing to care for it and get it into its ultimate peak state? According to Time magazine, 80% of American children and adults are not getting enough exercise. That's a real big shocker. It's recommended that adults get at least 150 to 300 minutes of moderate exercise each week. And I look at that number, I'm like, are you kidding me? That is a laughable number. How are you supposed to freaking get big, strong, tough? Dude, do you know why I go to the gym and put muscles on my body the way I think all men and women should, and I'm shooting on you right now? Is because muscle burns fat.
I'm gonna get in shape. But not today. I'm gonna go get a sandwich instead.
And so if you have a hard time having discipline in the kitchen, the food that you put in your mouth, what you need to do is actually put some muscle on your body. Stop trying to lose weight, start trying to gain weight, and let that muscle obliterate some of that. But on top of that, your heart and your lungs, they need some cardio. There's certain nutrition things you should be putting in your body to give you energy. Dude, you see this energy that you're feeling coming off of me? Dude, if you were to ask any of my friends, my wife, this is just the way that I am. This is how I am by choice. I got all the energy I need for every choice that I make all day long. It doesn't come from caffeine, doesn't come from drugs, it doesn't come from food. It comes from choice. And that choice is easy to make when you're taking care of your body. So just ask, like, do you have a goal to have your body be fitter and stronger and more capable, more able today than yesterday? You set that as your standard, and I'm gonna tell you something right now. You wake up a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, you're gonna be proud when you look in the mirror, not just the image that you see, but how capable this body is to lead you through every appropriate decision for the level up of your life. Number 4 is you have to become the author of your life by becoming the master of meaning. Like, only you can interpret the experiences that are happening in your life. You want to be weak? Then when something good happens, be happy, and when something bad happens, be sad. That's what a weak person does. They basically let life tug and pull on their emotions and tell them how they're supposed to be feeling. This comes from CNBC. They say, well, 83% of Americans agree that their life has meaning. A recent poll finds that Americans are the unhappiest they've been in 50 years, with only 14% of US adults saying that they're content. By the way, in my dictionary, that's a really bad word. 14% content? Where's the joy? Where's the excitement? Where's the happiness? Man, let me tell you, we live in such a day of ease. This is the first generation that if they wanted, they could literally be professional couch surfers. They don't have to be responsible. You can bum here and bum here and bum there and probably travel the world and do all sorts of cool things and never really have to take on real responsibility. It is amazing the opportunity that is being squandered in the world today. People don't get it. Happiness is a byproduct of choices that you make and feel in here. It's not about what you achieve and do out here. And so as a result, like, people are like ultimate victimhood. They're complaining about this and the government did that and my taxes look like this and my employer just did that. The reality is, when are you going to wake up and realize that you're in charge as the author of your life, of the meaning that you place on things? Like, I promise you, when something bad happens, with the right energy and attitude, there's a lesson to learn, and a short time later, you can laugh at that. It's probably going to wind up being one of your favorite memories of life. But not with the wrong attitude, and not if you are in the habit of signing really nasty negative meaning. It goes back to the first hack that I shared with you, that if you think a negative thought, you're going to feel negative. And as dumb as that sounds, people don't actually get the connection to that. Meanwhile, guess what happens if you practice in your mind palace thinking happy thoughts? you naturally, as a byproduct, feel happy in your life. Am I saying that in private when no one's looking, when I get up earlier in the morning, that I have a private practice where I practice thoughts that lead naturally to feelings that make me feel good so that I can reinforce positivity and crush any negativity later in the day? Is that what I'm saying? Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. It's true when I wrote this book that it's ultimately a game about money, but it does talk about the mind-body emotional connection of how we feel in our life. How fulfilled are we? What is the meaning in our life? And ultimately it shares 5 strategies for building wealth. Because in our day and age, in this generation, with the technology around us, and with the information available, with the mentors in wide abundance, anyone that has a normalish brain can become a multimillionaire. And you know what? I'm gonna say it, it's not that hard. In this book, I actually reveal how it actually goes down, but it's all about number 5 here. You wanna master your finances because money doesn't define you, money magnifies who you are. And to me, money is nothing more than opportunity. The question is, do you want your life to have more opportunities or less? Because if you want more opportunities, you need to get better at this game. And by the way, this is like a board game. Like money has rules, you follow the rules, you make more of it. And if you don't learn the rules and you ignore them because you're too busy thinking things like, well, I've heard that the root of all money is evil and, it takes money to make money and, more money, more problems, all these things society talks about. Elevate yourself beyond all that unconsciousness. Check this out. 77% of Americans reported feeling anxious and distraught about their financial situation. And though money does not buy happiness, it does give you more opportunities to pick and choose from. And so I'm gonna tell you right now, more opportunities means that you can have more choices in life of what's ultimately important to you. And that's my question. Like, when was the last time that you paused to dream and think about what you wanted to do with your life? When was the last time you thought, man, I'd love to do well enough financially because I'd love to buy my parents a house? Or I'd love to do well enough financially because there's this cause that I want to donate to, or maybe I want to start a foundation and I want to do that. Or, man, I would love to give my children a world education and take them around the world. Or, oh my gosh, I've always wanted to give that special person in my life this particular lifestyle. It's scary to dream these days because most of us don't see a path of how we can make that possible. I'm telling you right now that it is possible, and I believe so much in it that I will give you a copy of this book entirely for free. Meaning if you click the link below, you cover the shipping and handling, but this is what I'm gonna send you. It's full color, and it is the entire roadmap, and it's ultimately 5 decisions of what I made when I was literally deeply in debt, had no credit, I had no money, and this book made me financially free in 4.5 years. But more importantly than that, like this book is now responsible in its training for the 9-figure increases that I'm seeing in my net worth, and I'm now right around the corner from hitting that big B number, that $1 billion figure. And I look at life and I'm like, wow, your health is a game to be unlocked. Your finances is a game with rules. If you learn them, you can do that. Relationships seem hard and difficult and complicated, but they also have rules. And so for me, the ultimate game of life is growth. And for me, I believe someday I will stand before my maker, and when I do, I'm gonna report back on how much of my opportunity I took to grow as a human being. So here's my little piece of advice for you. Besides, get a copy of this book so you can get your finances in order. It's this simple rule. Every day, make sure that before the day ends, you're financially a little bit better off, that your health is a little bit stronger, and that your relationships are working a little bit better. That's not hard. Those are little tweaks every day, but I'm gonna tell you, your destiny is made of little things you do consistently every single day that add up. And a year from now, 5 years from now, you're gonna be unrecognizable, especially if you implement the 5 hacks that I shared with you today. So thank you for watching today's video. Get a copy of this book, and if this video resonated with you, give it a thumbs up, but more importantly, find out when my next event is. Get with me for 3 days, and let me show you what it looks like to elevate yourself and ascend to a level where the life that you've wanted, the have-it-all life, becomes a reality, not a decade from now, not decades from now, but right now. It's not that my life isn't without regret. I mean, back in my 20s, there's 3 things that I wish I had known at the start of my journey, but alas, no one has invented a time machine. But that doesn't mean that it's too late for you. In fact, I made a video for you sharing with you the 3 things I wish I had learned in my 20s. Check it out right here. You gotta admit, like, I've gotta either be a nut to believe that you can be the title of this book, have it all, or I'm just entirely full of crap. Wait a second, that means I'm either a nut or crap. Doesn't sound good. Let's try again.